Hello, everyone. I hope that you can see and hear me okay. My name is Sinead. I'm going to be your host for today's webinar. You're welcome back, or you're very welcome, and it depends on whether or not you were at our webinar yesterday, where we covered our different science degrees in DCU and the new courses we have on offer. Tomorrow, we're going to be covering our business courses, and today we are looking at a course in the School of Engineering and Computing, and also within our School of Humanities and Social Sciences. So you're very welcome. If at all you have any questions throughout the webinar today, please feel free to use the Q&A box that's there or the chat function, and we will be delighted to get some answers over to you. So as I mentioned, we have a lot of new courses in DCU over the last year or two, and today we're going to be covering 3 different courses. So as I mentioned, we have our Faculty of Engineering and Computing, and we're going to be looking at the new degree in Mechanical and Sustainability Engineering. We're then going to take a look at our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences and take a look at a course called Climate and Environmental Sustainability. And then there's a course that's actually owned between the 2 faculties called Global Challenges. And I'm delighted to have some panelists along with us today who can really give you some really good insight into these courses. So I welcome our panelists into the call now. Hopefully this goes according to plan. So representing Mechanical and Sustainability Engineering, we have Dr. Greg McNamara coming on, and current student Dale, who can provide us a student insight. For Global Challenges, we have Dr. Shirley Coyle and student Stephen Mernan to join us. And then to represent climate and environmental sustainability, we have current student Leo Carroll on the call, who's going to be able to tell us about his time in the course. So I think that has all gone to plan so far. Everyone's on screen. That is the hard part done on my end. Thank you, panelists, for all joining. To save you all having to sit there looking camera ready, I will get you guys to turn off your camera unless you are one of our engineers on the call. So maybe Greg and Dale will stay with us so we can hear more about your course. Thank you very much. Let's see if your microphones are working now.
Hi, everyone.
Brilliant. Hi, Greg.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Dale. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy calendars. I know it's kind of exam season, final year projects, everything like that coming on, but we really appreciate your time. And there's a few students online today who are considering these courses, for after secondary school, which is important. So we might look to Greg first, if that's okay. You might just tell us a little bit about the program in case some of our students aren't too sure what it's all about.
So sure. So this is a relatively new program. When I say relatively new, it's 3 years running now. So we will have our first set of graduates from Mechanical and Sustainability Engineering in 2024. So I don't know how familiar the audience is with the School of Mechanical Engineering and the programs that we provide, but we have quite a few different programs, but they're all mechanical based. So we produce mechanical engineers, but we produce them with specified skill sets. So we have 4 kind of main programs, and one would be mechanical manufacturing, one would be mechanical and electronics, which is mechatronic, one would be mechanical and medical, which is called biomedical engineering. And this one is no different. It's mechanical and sustainability engineering. So essentially, we're still producing a mechanical engineer, but we're producing mechanical engineers that have a specific sustainability skill set. So we want to produce engineers. So this is coming from industry. Industry have said to us, we really like your mechanical engineers. They're really good. They've got good analytical brains. What would be great is if we could have that sustainability knowledge and toolkit in their armory, and for to address a lot of the global challenges that we have today, all of our sustainable development goals. So just like all of the other programs, at its core is mechanical engineering. And then when you move into 3rd year, 4th year, you start to do more kind of sustainability specific modules. So what do I mean by that? So we want to be able to produce engineers that can provide design solutions that are sustainable. So what does any of that mean? So somebody comes to me and says to me, I need a machine that can do X, Y, or Z. So our mechanical and sustainability engineer will provide a design solution. So they will come up with some process or machine or system that's designed from the outset to be sustainable. So we want engineers that are able to, design some system that uses very little energy or uses renewable energy, that uses renewable materials. We also want engineers that are going to be able to design for sustainability from the outset.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're designing a new machine or part or system or whatever it is, that you're designing it at the very start of the stage, so that the machine, when it reaches its end of life, it can be sent on to be used in some other process, so that you're designing for reuse rather than, when it reaches the end of its technical life, it's thrown the dump, or it's melted down for its core materials or something like that. So that's really what we're doing. We're trying to equip our mechanical engineers with sustainability skills, and also to be able to analyze systems sustainably. So when you go into third year into fourth year, we teach the students how to conduct a life cycle assessment. So we can assess what the environmental impact of anything that we're going to design will be, and allow them to analyze other systems and make comparisons and say, well, if we do X, Y, or Z to this system, we can reduce its environmental profile and help its sustainability. And so that's really what the core of this program is.
Absolutely. And I think no one can really escape the term sustainability nowadays. And I'd imagine that anything that is going to be developed in future needs to have that in mind, and what impact it has on the environment. And actually, all of these courses today have a real focus on, whether it's climate change or the environment, sustainability. So I think it's only right that there are graduates in this area that are really prepared. And do you find, Greg, that that's going to be reflected in, say, the internships that our students will get? So as part of our engineering faculty, there's work placement, in the third year. They're kind of more sustainable areas in that as well.
They're absolutely, that's so the kind of birth of this program came from industry partners, where a lot of our inter students will go, and we take the feedback from them, and they say, like, we need students that can carry out these sort of sustainable exercises, that know about environmental regulations, that know how to do these types of analyses. And just as an aside, myself, I have my research is in sustainable engineering and energy. And what I find is that I put in for funding for different projects, and then I go looking to hire PhDs or postdocs and things like that, people to do the research. And a lot of the time, I'm looking for a particular skill set, which is a mechanical engineering brain with sustainability skills. And I can tell you, it is rare picking out there.
Yeah.
So if you are a graduate that has these skills, then you are in demand. You're in very, very high demand.
Absolutely. And you said it there, Greg, that's kind of the point of these new courses, is that they're designed with industry in mind. So while we offer a lot of traditional courses in DCU, we also have to make sure that we're looking at what's actually coming down the line. What are people going to need, knowledge in 5 or 10 years time, or even now as they're studying, which is great. So we might pass the virtual microphone over to Dale now. So Dale, that's what you heard when you were applying for this course, and you heard all about it. How is it like actually studying all this stuff?
Sure, yeah. Everything that's been said is really right. It sort of feels like looking out that, when we graduate, there will be a bit of a fuss over us, which is always nice. Going back to like TY, where I started as a student, I always liked the sciences. It's just like the wonder of science in general. Always wanted to do something that had a good effect on the world. So sustainability is there. But mechanical engineering wasn't always in the picture. It was only until I got into the Leaving Cert subjects, maths being the first thing. I started really like maths. Engineering is so related, and in particular being able to apply that. So mechanical engineering sort of came in and said, well, this is the thing where it's a bit like the sciences are there. We're learning about energy and energy systems, but the mechanical engineering mindset is brought into us. So day to day, we are learning about the physics of renewable energies and thermofluid mechanics, and all the ways that we can take all of the turbulent energy in our environment and turn it into useful energy that we use day to day. But there's also things like design and solid modeling, and the mechanics of materials, and all of the things that are very much mechanical engineering. And that's so useful. Day to day, you can go through each and every module and you can see, well, yeah, you need both in order to make something happen. When you have both, you get to put together cool projects. We've got projects like an autonomous guided vehicle that we do as part of our first year to sort of link in our design and solid modeling and our electronics. In our second year, we do our boat. We design a boat and we study its properties as it travels through fluid. And in our third year, we have our Sustainable Fireman project, which I'm not sure if Greg would talk about more. I won't go all the way into the details, but it's another application in which you're saying, okay, we're learning this, and here it is in front of us. We've built this, which I think is probably my favorite part of the course. I still love the theory, but actually being able to say, this is it, this is what we're studying. I think that's my favorite part.
Absolutely. And I think that's a highlight as well of DCU engineering courses, a lot of practical elements, a lot of hands-on work. So you're not just going to be sitting in a lecture hall the whole time. You have we've state-of-the-art facilities, which is really, really cool for stuff like that. So Dale, are you going on your internship soon? Is that right?
Yeah. So next year I'll be on my internship for 10 months as part of the integrated master's course. There's a 5-year program coming out with a bachelor's and a master's. And yeah, even now, as I'm still in lectures and doing projects, I'm always thinking about it. I'm thinking, where do I want to be? I don't get to choose exactly where I am in my internship. That's all about interviews and so on, but actually applying to these places, saying, this is what I'm interested in. And I will get work in some capacity in the field. Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you don't mind me asking, when you came into the course, did you have a real set idea as to what you wanted to do after? And has that changed at all? Has it kind of, is your mind opened a little bit?
Yeah, I came in wide-eyed, right? Because everything is on show, or you can see like every lecturer and PhD and everyone in the school is always doing all of these amazing different things. So I came in and it just said, yeah, sustainable engineering. I walked in the door and a million ideas came. A couple of them were, sorry, I think I lost my thing. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I can't hear you. My thing has just gone, but when I came in, there was a lot of talk about the hydrogen fuel. That there's a couple of people in the faculty that are doing wonderful things there, and as well on show in the engineering building, there's the Hyperloop project, so the sustainable transport has a big focus there. But then there are just so many other projects that you can see going on. You'll see them every now and then, and it's just another idea of what can I do after I graduate.
Yeah, that's great. I'm not sure, Dale, if you can hear us now, but I might let him sort out his audio. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
That's great, Dale. Thank you so much. For anyone who's joined the call, and the attendees are going up and up as the minutes go on, if anyone does want to ask any questions about the engineering course in DC, mechanical and sustainability engineering, please let us know. Greg and Dale, I'll let you mute your card and your mics and turn off your camera for a moment, but you might hang on just in case there's anyone who's joined who wants to know more. But thank you so much about that so far. So let's move on to global challenges, I think, next, which is a course, as I mentioned, that's actually a shared ownership between engineering and our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences. And there we have Dr. Shirley Coyle, who's live on screen. And Stephen, you're more than welcome as well. So again, guys, any questions about these courses, please do fire them in. Don't be shy at all. And we might pass this virtual mic over to Shirley in the first instance and just tell us, what is Global Challenges all about?
Sure, thanks, Sinead. Yeah, Global Challenges is a brand new course that just started this September. And as you mentioned, it's a joint programme between the School of Electronic Engineering and the School of Law and Government. So it's really an interdisciplinary programme. It really bridges between the two schools, which also means, so it's not a case kind of you're doing half law and politics and half engineering. It's very much integrated, and that's the way we teach as well. And I suppose the purpose of the course is to address global challenges or local challenges, but there's a huge number of issues that that society and that business and every country is faced with at the moment, and it's about looking at that big picture and trying to come up with solutions for it. So it's not just studying it, but it's actually really understanding those problems, and that's where a lot of social sciences comes into it. Really understanding what the source of the problems are, and then having the knowledge to understand what technologies are available, and how you can use data and maths to understand things and to apply change. So we sort of have different themes through the program about, exploring and defining problems, through to designing solutions, being able to lead projects and to communicate with people, because it's all about working across all these different disciplines, about applying technology and then evaluating, did that make a difference or not, and evaluating the impact of solutions that you design. Similar to the engineering courses, it's very practical. We do a lot of challenge-based work, where students are kind of given a problem, and there's, it's not just a case of kind of following a set, a set of instructions. It's about exploring the problems. Even as lecturers, we're learning, and they're either open-ended problems, and students come back with possible solutions and designs. So very much based on real world problems and real world applications, and then sort of having those different perspectives from lots of different expertise within social sciences, to have that broad understanding. So that's just a quick overview. Stephen can give it.
So exciting. And I love what you said there, Shirley, about like even the lecturers are still learning, because these problems are ever changing and growing. So, the challenges that we're facing as a globe. And I think it's a really great change of pace as well from, say, the secondary school curriculum, which is often, rote learning, and it's testing your memory. And they don't often in the Leaving Cert get to kind of collaborate and share ideas and see what, solutions can come to certain problems. So I guess if there's any prospective students listening, if you're someone who's interested in making change and an impact, and maybe Stephen, that's where you could step in. Is that something that excited you about this course?
Yeah, I got into the course mainly by starting off with the CAO, as I'm sure a lot of people did. I couldn't find a lot of info on the course, and that's when I found out it was a new part of the DCU Futures program. And it got an interest, and I ended up in college doing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, sustainability was always something that I kind of had an idea about, wasn't sure if I wanted to go into, didn't know. And then as I got older, it became in nearly every conversation, from industry to home, to how we eat, to how we shop, to how we buy clothes. And yeah, it seemed like it was decently in line with like, okay, well, this course looks sustainable, I'll have a better look at it, and I ended up doing it. But some of the things I'd like to highlight are just like, grand doing the course, but what does that actually mean? What do you actually do? What I can tell you is this is the first year of the course, so your feedback as students, even if you decide to come into the course next year, will be hugely taken into consideration. There's summits every couple of months to see how students like the course, what they want to change, what they want to keep. And in terms of like why pick global challenges over a different course, I might show you some of the things that we have in this course that no one else, as far as I'm aware, provides. The first off, you can see around me, I'm currently in the only room for the DCU Global Challenges students. Only you will have access to this along with your lecturers. You will also be given key card access to the room, so you can use it around the clock whenever you need. It's not just for lectures, you can use it for meetings, for coming up with ideas, for, as Shirley mentioned, you do a lot of cross team work, which means you'll be doing a lot of group work. So you might want to use the space to brainstorm with your classmates on a poster design or a project idea. The next thing is, as mentioned earlier, it is a discipline that is cross, so between the humanities faculty and the engineering faculty. The engineering side of that is a really strong one as well. I have an example here of an autonomous car that we made that was recently assessed. We introduced the components you might not have heard of before, like an Arduino board and a H-bridge. And it's a very strong way to do a course, because a lot of the disciplines go so in depth into one thing that you lose your communication skills with other courses. So an engineer can talk to a policymaker, and a policymaker can talk to a sustainability person. The idea of global challenges is to bridge those two things and make sure that, okay, I can talk to the engineer, I can talk to the policymaker, and actually get a problem fixed. And in terms of problems, of course, global challenges. But what actually is that? Like, what is a global challenge? The way we've understood it is it's frameworked around these 17 goals. If you came to the open day, we had a stall there. And these are the 17 United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG for short. And yeah, they framework the whole course, everything from eliminating poverty to eliminating hunger, living sustainably, responsible consumption and production. it's all based around these parts to not just live sustainability in terms of the climate, but like I mentioned earlier, in terms of food, in terms of shopping, in terms of clothes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose I won't keep you too long. It's a Wednesday and you're probably home from school and have stuff to do. But in terms of just, I know a lot of people, myself as well, you might be considering, well, first year degree, what jobs can I get after college? This course was already recommended by a huge problem solving company called Accenture. And a lot of us will be planning to do our work placements with that company in year 3. Along with this, there's another company called Cool Planet, which is a company designed to take a business and its how it does things and reduce all its practices to a net zero carbon emissions over a 10-year period. But yeah, there are, just because it's not a 1-year course, just because it's the first year this year, there is job prospects for us after.
Absolutely. And it sounds like you have such a firm grasp on exactly what you're studying and exactly what you're going to study, which I think a lot of people will need that reassurance as well. Like, as you said, it is like you're in first year, but you know the path of what's to come, which is really exciting. Do you have a personal favorite element? Because you're studying so many different things. What do you like in particular?
So my favorite part is definitely the engineering side. That is because in secondary school, I loved technology. It was one of my favorite subjects going through all of school. And in it, you will learn if you've done technology as well, I should highlight, it will help you with this course. It's by no means a necessity, but it will give you a bit of a leg up in terms of like the content you're making, even the car I showed you earlier. But yeah, I love the engineering side because you learn about things that like just make it really seem like I'm really in college. I'm learning like real world stuff right now. Even from the things I mentioned earlier, from the Arduino board to a H-bridge to how to use a breadboard, learning all those different types of circuits can be really valuable to you, because even forget the things after life. In your daily life, if you know how to, right, I need a button for this lamp, or I need to fix a light or whatever, comes in handy there as well. But just for myself, I love the technology side of it. I love when something doesn't work for a really long time and then you finally get it to work. There's no feeling like it.
Yeah, something really like, well, tangible, I guess, and practical skills, which you're learning as part of the course as well, which is great. Stephen, thank you so much for that. It's such an exciting course, and I said only in first year, but certainly great things to come. So again, anyone have any questions for Stephen or Shirley, please do pop them in the chat. This is your time. As I said, they're very busy people. It's exam season soon, they're finishing up lectures and all that. So please do ask any question. There's no such thing as a silly one. So the final course that we'll cover, which is housed in our Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, is climate and environmental sustainability. So these are a lot of themes that we've heard throughout the day, but who better to tell us about how they're getting on than current student. Hi Leo, how are you?
Oh, how are you? Yeah, so I'm a second year student in climate and environmental sustainability. I guess it's a very hands-on course, and much like all the other ones we've been discussing today, it's very new. So I'd say what first attracted me to this course was the thought of having more hands-on experience, a course that's less based, completely just in class learning. I wanted something I could get a lot of like field work done, a lot of hands-on experience where I can understand what it's really like to engage with these environmental topics in the field. So joining the course, I came in with sort of more of an interest towards the ecological side of things, those sort of sciences, but I ended up just falling in love with the topic of climate and environmental sustainability. It's very all-encompassing. So the way we tackle it is you have these 3 spheres. So you have the environmental sphere, the social sphere, and the economic sphere. And the idea is that sort of everything we're getting from the earth, all our resources, it's all based from the environment itself. And from there, you'll have your social side and your economics. So obviously I was most interested in the environment at the start, but I just became very fascinated with the multifaceted nature of everything. How it can sort of spec into a lot of different topics, and the environment utterly just affects everything that we have. So just some of the modules that we covered would have data analysis, you'd have sustainable food security, which we had this year, you'd have be covering environmental policy management, and in between all of that, you'll have a lot of very active projects and roles, especially because it's such a new course. They're really trying to push the boundaries with experimenting with new ways of learning, I suppose. We had a simulation. It was sort of like a strategy game that we were all playing together at the same time. and different students would act like they're different capital cities, and we'd try to figure out together how to lower our overall carbon footprint. So there's a lot of kind of unique little experimental things they're trying out. Some other bits and bobs is in first year you'll have the chance to do what we call a sustainability challenge. So in that you spend about 30 days trying to change an aspect of your life to be more sustainable, and you'll be able to write sort of little almost blog entries throughout your experience, and you'll be able to just kind of really engage with the topic directly. So we had lots of students trying out just different things, going vegan for a little while, or trying to cycle down to college instead of drive. I personally tried to incorporate insects into my diet as a source of protein that's more sustainable, which is kind of like,
whoa,
it was a whole
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it was really fun to like try out, because it was very sort of different thing. But that's the thing with this course, much like in TY, you really have the opportunity to spec out and branch out into things you're interested in and get very creative with it, which is something I really appreciated, especially from my experience, at least in secondary school. Transition year is one of my favorite years, and sort of joining this course has been a way to almost experience the same kind of energy, but in a more, academic environment. So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Leo. Again, the DCU Futures courses, these new programs we have are really focused on that, letting you learn about loads of different areas and things you have an interest in, and making sure that you've got these transversal skills that you can use in any different job that you go into. And I love as well that you kind of chose the courses because you didn't want to just kind of sit in a lecture hall all day, because you do actually go out on field trips in this course as well.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We had a trip to Dunsany Castle, which is sort of like this large private and nature reserve area where we're able to do all sorts of just fieldwork experiments. You can take it back home, kind of learn how to do all the data analysis on that work. And currently the first years just finished their field trip in Dunsany as well. So we have a lot of things going on. Actually, next week, we're going on a week-long field trip around Galway, just doing kind of a lot of environmental data analysis. So it's, I'm getting ready for that at the moment, but it's very exciting. So yeah, a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely, and a great course for someone who can't sit still. If you don't think you could sit through, 12 weeks of class, in this course, you certainly get a chance to be up and about, which is great. Another question for you, Leo, if you don't mind. Did you like geography in secondary school? Was that something that you had an interest in? Like, what sort of subjects do you think influenced your decision, or was it really just kind of your interest outside of school that inspired you?
I definitely say I was most interested in geography and the sciences. So I came more into biology and chemistry later on, but I'd say geography was kind of my leading interest. And that's definitely a big part of this course if you're interested in, physical geography and also learning about just human geography and the social aspects of everything. So, yeah.
It's fantastic, Leo. Thank you so much for that. Again, if anyone has any questions, please do pop them in. Is there a highlight of the course, Leo, so far? Is it eating insects for a month? Is that the best part?
It might be, yeah. Because
they won't make you do that, by the way. If anyone's like, "Oh, I'm this course, I don't need insects," he chose to do that.
Entirely, yeah. I only forced like 2 classmates to get involved. So yeah, it was a great opportunity because the local news actually got involved then, and they wrote like an article about our whole class's project and everything. So there's a lot of little other opportunities that you can take. And actually over the summer also, there was an opportunity for a scholarship in America, which I went towards, and I could work with the University of Notre Dame in Indiana. And we were working on a grant proposal scheme for a sustainable river watershed. So there's just all sorts of new opportunities popping up with this course all the time. So it's a good one to keep an eye out for.
Absolutely, that's great. Thank you so much to all of our panelists today, academics and students alike. I think all your information you've given is so comforting to any incoming students, know that even though these are new-ish courses, whether it's Global Challenges, which is year 1, or like Mechanical and Sustainability, which is in year 3 at the minute, or going into year 3, the students are really enjoying it, and the career prospects, there are too many to list. We're making sure that any courses that we develop do reflect what the industry industry would like in terms of graduates. So thank you so much for everyone who came along to learn a little bit more today. Of course, we will have the recording available. So for people who maybe have, classes on now or couldn't make it, hopefully you can watch this video back. But if you do have an interest in business and you'd like to hear about our new business course and our new business specialism, we are tuning in same time tomorrow, 4 p.m. to speak with, again, academics and students who are enjoying those new courses. So thank you very much for your time today. I'll wait online for the next few minutes in case anyone has an extra question. But for our academics and our students, thank you so much again. You're free to go. And for any attendees, I hope you enjoyed and we'll see you soon.